I didn't watch Surviving Barstool. I watched the Republican primary debate instead, and I'll tell you why. Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host. Almost every Wednesday, we meet here to talk about important things and important people. And tonight, it's why I didn't watch Surviving Barstool and instead watched the primary debate. And the answer is pretty simple. I'm going to be like Chris Christie. That's the question. The answer is because I know how Surviving Barstool is going to end and how it's going to play out because I've seen the show before. Any contest that involves Kirk Minahan involves basically the same playbook, and that is that he blows it up. He kind of comes in there and he just looks for a weakness and then just lobs an explosive, blows the shit out of somebody or something, and gets a lot of people so excited that the content machines just levers in, just boom, 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 boom. Content is so good. So that's why, Surviving Barstool. Okay, so Kirk Minahan's gonna, blow it up. He's gonna have a fit. He's gonna cross the line. There's gonna be a massive argument. There's gonna be anger. And in the end, he'll have some position that's a little bit higher than maybe it was going in. For some, maybe a little bit lower. The company will have tremendous amounts of content. It not only will be the show itself, but then the lawsuits that follow for the emotional distress caused by Kirk's shenanigans. Kirk himself probably having a hospitalization. Coleman on the phone with his mother. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it for them. It's just, for me, what I did instead was watch the Republican primary, because even though it's similar, back and forth, meaningless banter, it's not similar because it's about, the future of the country. And I thought that, for sure, my girl Nikki Haley would be the winner. I knew going in she'd have a target on her back, and she did, and she was shot out a number of times. Not killed, though, but not the winner. Chris Christie won. Who? I know, Chris Christie. He won because he kind of took the whole situation in the room and turned it around and actually turned the television audience against the live audience, and in a way that was quite masterful. The live audience who booed him because he called out the fact that Donald Trump is unfit. He was the only one who actually could answer the question, I think, that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as president for a lot of reasons that he went into. A lot of reasons that a lot of people know deep down are probably accurate. But when he did that, the people in the audience were boo, boo. But instead of cowering under not being popular, like Vivek Ramaswamy, that's all he wants, is just to have people like him. So he just wants to say all these very radical things, charged things to attract energy. Chris Christie instead, he took that rejection and he basically said, fuck you. I'm going to speak the truth, and that's why I'm the strongest person on the stage, is because I'm the only one who has the guts to stand up to you people in the audience who are being led down a primrose path, basically off a plank. Masterful. So go Chris Christie. He's still not going to win because he doesn't have the backing of all the fat cats. That's what Nikki Haley has. But if Nikki Haley gets it and she's president, Chris Christie could be U.S. attorney. And he would, I guess, be a U.S. attorney like John Ashcroft, because that was his inspiration. But in terms of presidencies, Chris Christie was most inspired by the Gipper. all right, Ronald Reagan, and he wrote a book about it that's coming out, so we're going to hear a lot about that. You know who Ron DeSantis was inspired by? Calvin Coolidge. Oh, yeah, because like every night when I think about the arc of American history, I think, thank God for Calvin Coolidge. Nikki Haley says her presidential inspirations was a combination of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Sure, why not just cover all the bases? And Vivek Ramaswamy, Thomas Jefferson. And the reason, interesting I guess, if it's true, is because Thomas Jefferson simultaneously designed the swivel chair and wrote the Declaration of Independence at the age of, I don't know, like 6. But Vivek Ramaswamy is not presidential, not a serious candidate, not even worthy of consideration. So obnoxious. The others, though, we'll see. And News Nation. Who knew? Chris Cuomo back looking pretty shiny, pretty dapper. Remember when he had COVID and he was in his basement? Well, he's come a long way. Megyn Kelly, interesting hair, a little bit like mullet almost, not quite. Elizabeth Vargas, very nice job on the part of the moderators. News Nation, good on the analysis. A good debate, very good. Pleasant to watch. Ads a little odd, though, for all the talk about TikTok being a threat to not only national security, I guess, and to the mental health of our young people. I mean, the statistics on the radicalization of our youth on TikTok by like Hamas is pretty startling. So then to hear that from the candidates and to hear the implication of the importance of the issue in the tone of the moderator's questions, only to be then inundated with commercials about TikTok on the break was interesting. But that's what you get, you know. Not free. No free lunch. So let's see. I have a couple of notes. Well, lots of other news today, if you think about it, right? The NCAA president, Charlie Baker, coming out with a letter saying Division I sports athletes, I guess, can get paid. But what's interesting is the argument is apparently to make it more equitable, because under the current situation that already allows some money to flow to the athletes, it's mostly to men. So his argument for imposing this new regime that would let schools pay athletes, he says would equal the playing field, because the schools would be bound by Title IX to have like equal programs. Maybe. Interesting. Other things in the news today. Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, who I talk about a lot. Well, poor thing. He had a mother's conference in his country and apparently just broke down in tears because North Korean women are not putting out enough babies to feed his system. Not enough young soldiers, not enough people to wipe his ass. So he's really encouraging the North Korean women to not only have more babies, but make sure the babies are raised as communists. So there's that news. Robert Kraft contributing like a boatload of money to fight anti-Semitism. All kinds of stuff going on. So that's really the reason why I didn't watch Surviving Barstool. And I was glad to see that Dave Portnoy took a position on the university presidents not having a position on anti-Semitic and hate speech on campuses. I mean, the one glimmer of hope that maybe can unite us as Americans, Minifans and Stoolies, Democrats and Republicans, dog people, cat people. Everybody hates American colleges right now. Everybody. Everybody hates the professors. Everybody hates the presidents, with the exception of maybe a few. But for the most part, we can all hold hands, and celebrate, hopefully, a revolution of education in this country. Break the chains, the grip that the woke culture has on the minds of our students. That's what we're going to do here on the Smugsy Show. So subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, this is Smugsy Girl signing off. Take care.